guy. There's a guy that's wants to work with us. I don't know, Mendy, if he spoke to you or already spoke to someone else, but he's gonna call you, I think, and he wants to really up the ante, as they say. He has a lot of funding behind him, and he wants to create a full-fledged, operation where we approach the group approaches things from a global level, where I know we've spoke about it in the past, but this guy means business. He wants to create a plan, and he has funding, and
Who's
how
this
we
guy?
can
What's his name?
really focus on different. What?
What's his name? Red. Why is it all? What is the secret? What's the secret?
I'm not the main contact. He's going to reach out to the people that he's going to reach out to. I just want to say that
wow, that's amazing. That is amazing. Wow. Mama Shazay.
For the first 3 months, you don't tell anyone. Yeah, I guess the idea is to push it. I'm saying the idea is push it to take the whole thing, from Fry, Litvish, Siddish, just and take each group, approach them in their way.
Wow, that's amazing news. What are you talking about?
Today, I think we reached the point already where a lot of it is just a matter of being ma'ater. People are already doing a lot on their own, most of these groups. But and what's nice about it, our group already, is that there's some people that already took certain positions in certain areas, in execution, some in planning, some in other places. So the skeleton, a lot of it is already in place. I think it's just a matter of. I understand that this person wants to push it, create a full functioning operation, with a business plan, with a lot of funding. He says there's a lot of funding. He just needs people that want to do this, that are interested. So I think that's great news. I think it's going to be a huge push and a huge.
Was this a contact that you found? How did he find out about?
No, I didn't find them. Someone approached me, and I gave him I gave him, I guess, Mendy's number and Ruby Wolf's number, and I assume he'll speak to them, and we can make this happen. So it sounds like it's just a matter of taking the ball and rolling. I know, as Sandy, you had some big ideas, and other people had some big ideas. I think this is what he wants. He wants big ideas. And by the way, in Tavshin Mem Zayin, I don't know if this is public or not. I mean, it's not such a big secret. There was a few Askanim that wrote to the Rebbe that they want to do something about Mashiach. And the Rebbe answered something to the tune of, like, I'm talking about, shaking up the world, and you're telling me a drop in the bucket. I'm not sure exactly what their plan was. But that was already Tavshin Mem Zayin. So... So here's an opportunity. I think as soon as we get more information, I think we should jump on it and just go full force ahead. So a lot of talents, a lot of people. Get more shluchim involved as well. Go from there. What do we have in the summit now? Where are we up to? No. My screen is. So I'm not sure where what the last plan with the global Mercedes meeting that was, where it's up to, and
yeah, we have Sandy on. Sandy's on, and maybe he'll share with us update at
The
now
Knesset
that we're at the
Shluchim,
end.
yeah, anything with the Knesset Shluchim, you send something to the Knesset, the Sweet 302 or something, no?
Yeah, I can a little bit, I guess, a status report on both those things. Baruch Hashem, both those things gain off a gang in a nice way.
Beautiful.
First of all, Bichlal in general, B'schus Nashim Tzakani so in terms of the effort, the global effort, the United for Geula, that is also being given a name that is a quote from that is a quote from Tanakh. So it has the Ubikshu, so they came as David Malcolm. So we're calling it Ubikshu. I know because it's a similar.
Move away.
There's like Dirshu, right? Is a big, might say, a big effort. So Ubikshu, and currently confirmed as Cheved are going to be preparing talks. And right now the concept is that it's going to be pre-recorded so that it can be created in a already comprehensive, tight video, and that will be playing. It'll premiere at what we're thinking is 1 p.m. on Yom Aleph Deslichas. So that 1 p.m. 770 time means that you can get, it's still a normal hour both on the West Coast and then all the way to Eretz Yisrael. But the Rabbi Beryl Lazar was key in getting some significant gravitas behind this. We have Rabbi Shlomo Amar, the former Rishon LeZion chief rabbi. He's working on getting also Rabbi Lau. Rabbi Warren Goldstein is in. Rabbi Lazar himself will be speaking. I think the Tolner Rebbe is at this point in the process of committing. Then we have the son of Chatzkel Besser, Shlomo Besser, who him and his son are also working behind the scenes to compile some other names and to build a strong groundswell, as well as a sense of that this is really kind of across the entire spectrum of Yiddish and Meisdus. So Baruch Hashem, it's in that sense, and as I mentioned, we have some of the women who have been very active in making Pulis of Mashiach happen in a big way, and I think Rabbi Rubenfeld will agree with me, and I see that Rabbi Reuven Wolf and Zosha Zilberstein is that we can learn from their conviction, from their gung ho lechatchila rebbedik commitment. Rivki Katz and Basi Rabashkin in particular, who are they're the real deal. So Baruch Hashem, this is coming along. We're going to ask that Minatzchim, we have to build this up, the weekly participation, because in the weekly participation is the momentum as well. He can correct me if I'm saying anything wrong, but you're gonna have to, look back at the recording for the first half of what I was saying. But the bottom line is that now the effort is, besides for the passive effort of putting it out there via ads and media and WhatsApp groups of v'chulu, there where I think that we can, as a group of committed shluchim to seeing this done, is that to really kind of break up the Yiddish Welt and all the meistus therein by region, and everybody taking a achrayus, like with the Talucha list in New York of all the shuls and all the rabbanim. And we should be getting on the phone with many of the shuls, the rabbanim, the meistus, et cetera, across the Yiddish Welt, and be pushing it. And so I think at a certain point, we're going to try to put together a list of of points of contact. And if we can all take a certain achrayus to X number of names or points of contact on that list to push this forward, besides for just relying on articles in the, or ads in the Hamodia and articles, we're also going to look that there should be articles, because this is unprecedented. This is millions of Yidden crying out from Sheikh from across the Yiddish spectrum. So there's no reason why these aren't articles in the Ami magazine and in Hamodia and obviously in all the Lubavitcher publications. But besides for that, we should be taking the time, and if we have 20 committed chevre, and each one of them take 20 names, that's 400 meisdes that get contacted, 400 points of contact that get contacted in advance leading up to this. It's a very quick phone call, because really what you're telling them is, I'd like to send you material. There's going to be the biggest kol kodah, the biggest tefillah for Mashiach that this world has ever seen. It's going to be across the board, and we expect that all Yidden that need Mashiach should be part of this. And so we are putting this into putting the ball in your court in terms of, as a Reish Kol or whatever you are, a Reish Mason, to getting the word out to your Kehillah, to your Maisid, V'chulu. So this is the next step. I'm actually, then you were mentioning that there's some big backer who we can approach for this. I'm excited to hear, because I haven't heard the details of that yet. But it's Hashem, it should pan out, and then we can buy up stadiums or rent stadiums.
Yeah. It sounds like he has a lot of money behind him. So I don't know.
I guess we'll find out about this sooner or later. But the answer is that, as we've been, Zusha will speak to this, or I think agree to this, that primarily, instead of having the most compelling aspect of this is going to be the fact that every kreis is going to see a name there that resonates with them, that they're interested in hearing, and so to a certain degree there was a discussion about whether we needed a vad with all the names of all the meisdes endorsing this, etc., from all the Litvish Chassidish meisdes endorsing this, and we came more of a said that to a certain degree we don't want to come at it from that angle where it's this official program. We have this meis and that. It's a groundswell of it's pashut from the ground up, and the names themselves of the people that will be talking will be enough and the concept, the idea that all the Yidden, which Yid would not want, which Yid that at the end of the day, as a neshama, would not want to be involved with this. And so there was that. We're going to create a website, and on the website they'll be able to put their names that they are going to participate, and also encourage others to participate, with the incentive that if you do this, your name will be added to the list that will be brought to the Mekimis HaKadoshim. I noticed that part of this Tuba of event that happened yesterday, one of the Mekimis HaKadoshim have become, Chaim Kanievsky has become a Makim Kaddish. They said they're going to bring the list of all the names of the people that were involved in it to Rav Chaim Kanievsky. They'll read it in front of Rav Chaim Kanievsky. So they said this is a Mashiach Zeiten, sie gemacht von Chaim Kanievsky a Rebbe. Pasha the Rebbe is gemacht von a pan, they're bringing a pan to Rav Chaim Kanievsky. But
I think I know what the shot in there.
Well, go ahead.
But this stays inside. Stop the recording, please.
I don't know if I'm not sure. I want Rabbi Rubenfeld, Mendy Rubenfeld is right now the Balagala for his camp. I'm not sure we want him to take his finger off.
It's off the recording, not from now.
Okay, but either way, so that Baruch Hashem.
Somebody tells me I can guess what you're going to say.
No.
But does Baruch Hashem get going? And the bottom line is that when the rubber meets the road, we're a little bit away from really solidifying the details that and being able to take it and run with it, including a branding, the logo, the website. But once that happens, it's going to be a tight window of time, and the more manpower we have, I mean, really, it could be to a certain degree something that never happened ever in history, and more importantly, would be exactly was the Rebbe Gemont and the month Nachanan that Medaf Al Shrine, that what this would be again something I think that the nachas ruach, and obviously more importantly the fact that it should be poil, it's the pulasa is the potential for it is really something I don't think we've seen yet. And now in terms of the kinus, Baruch Hashem, there's also been a lot of progress in that regard. The Mashiach office in 302 has gotten the attention of the rest of 302. With the Tut Alt Mifza, they acknowledged that this was an incredibly powerful pu'ula, and a pu'ula that really united Gans Lubavitch, which to a certain degree was also unprecedented. And so they were interested in hearing what the Mashiach campaign has in mind with in regards to the kinnus. And part of the ideas that were fleshed out, and these are ideas that, and to a certain degree, without even pushing the envelope any further with the Vad HaKinus, this is already what the Vad HaKinus is willing to give at this moment, which is that there should be some sort of pre-Kinus Hachan, something that the shluchim all do together, some a mitzvah, whatever it is, that they prepare for the kinus, and the conclusion, the culmination of it will be at the kinus. The Thursday they're going to be, instead of for the Thursday, instead of towards the end, instead of having multiple general sessions, they're going to have the one main general session. I don't remember that there was multiple. Apparently, the Vatican says there was multiple, and now they're going to have one main. Either way, but the fact is they're going to give the 45 minutes at this session to be the culmination of this mitzvah. Then Friday, this is one of the few years that that Shabbos, the changing of the clocks, will not happen before the kinnos. So that Shabbos will be coming in an hour later than a usual kinnos Friday, which means that more shluchim are expected to be able logistically to be part of the going to the oil and the session that occurs there. Obviously, to a certain degree, us going to the Mishalech, the Pankali, etc., is a very highlight, important part, the pinnacle of Kiddush, however you want to phrase it. So that that will also be devoted to this Mashiach effort. And then again on Matzei Shabbos, there will also be a big segment of the Matzei Shabbos Malava Malka that will be devoted to this same thing. And so the challenge presented to the Meccas, the Mashiach campaign office, was, can you create something that will, in a sense, carry a theme all the way through Thursday, Friday, and Matzei Shabbos on this Nakuda that will be compelling, will be powerful, and really starting from before the Kinnis, springing into the Kinnis, and to a certain degree, Shlomin Prastek is a young Cheverman who has done incredible things, but he's turning to first to the Vada of the Mashiach campaign office, and we're turning to the Minatzchim group to help flesh out what will in fact be a very powerful lead up to the Kinnis. Then the Thursday, Friday, Matzei Shabbos, what we were discussing and we kind of started to hammer out was a skeleton as follows: that the Sicha Nun Beis, Chayesar Nun Beis, is something that is not just an important. It's the tzava of the Mishaleach. This is the demand of the Mishaleach. We are not an outreach organization. We are shluchim of the Lubavitcher Rebbe. What the Rebbe says by us is Torah Sinai, especially when it comes to our shluchus. We are here only as a Mishaleach. Forget the fact that we are chassidim. Our job description is shluchim of the Mishaleach. So when the Rebbe tells us in Nun Beis that this is your shluchus, that's the job description, and the fact that not every shliach can use a refresher, not just to read it through, but to understand it comprehensively. And we should be doing this on a yearly basis. But if we took what they did with the Tut Alt Mifza and they created with Mechaneach, the Sicha Chayesar Beis, and really turned it into a study and to understand the details of and then all the shluchim studied this together. Thursday night we had a panel of the cup mention of Lubavitch, the cup mention of the shluch. Names and interesting deizagers who will present a synopsis of the main nukudas of the Sikha. So we'll call it Thursday night, let's call it information. Friday would be, at the oil, will be inspiration, will be blanking on the, when it says that, Navi, that the Yidden came and recommitted to themselves, which Melech it was, but that the Yidden, after going astray, not Chas Hashem going astray, but in this case, a recommitment to this, to the Shlichus HaIkris, and we will include that in the pan. So Friday, if I bring in at the oil, which a commitment to, that we are here, we're standing before our Rebbe and we're committing to this, to this Tzava Shah of Nun Beis. And then on Motzei Shabbos would be execution, would be people getting up, first of all, Shluchim and Balabatim talking about how imbuing their shluchus with this underlying foundation, that everything, mitzvah tefillin, mitzvah mezuzah, mitzvah kashrus, everything is permeated. Mitzvah Mashiach is not a zaydike, it's not one of the mitzvahs. Mitzvah Mashiach underpins everything. It's why we do it. And somebody said it's the why of our shluchus. It's why we take the time to put on tefillin with everybody. It's why we're encouraging them to keep one a Shabbos, to do this one mitzvah. It's not a patchwork of mitzvahs. It's all one journey with each of these, with individual steps, but going towards Mashiach. And we say that if you view this message into your shluchus, you'll be incredibly matzliach. And we'll have shluchim talk about this, maybe even Balabatim talk about this, how this is the message that made them chassidim of their Beis Chabad. And Matoiv, if a very wealthy donor says that this is what had him write the big fat check, is a zicher gut. But the bottom line is, and then at the Motzei Shabbos program, a certain initiative or at least resources are announced and provided. Shluchim walk away with something tangible that is being provided for them to help them in this effort of imbuing their shluchus with this underlying theme. Maybe it might be a kuntris, a booklet that has a point on the parsha that is within Yonagol Mashiach for every parsha. Could be a new set of the little informational booklets for the Miftzayim, but with a theme that goes through them all about Mashiach, etc. But something that the Chevra walk away with. I know whenever look, everybody likes a doggy bag. Everybody likes walking away with something, with a goodie bag. If the Motzei Shabbos, after it's all over, something was announced and then handed, and the shluchim, each of the shluchim were walking out with something. Obviously, this will spark them to be far more ready to imbue this in their shluchim. So right now it is a gelegenheit for a group of shluchim, as we all are here, committed to seeing shlichus more embedded, Mashiach more embedded in our shlichus, to really take this opportunity, because this is it. I mean, the kinnis is to a certain degree the hallmark, the marquee event of worldwide shlichus, and we're being told that it's as much of Mashiach as we are willing to make of it. And so this is everybody. Really, we shouldn't just. Nobody should be on. If you're on this group, you're not a spectator. That's not why you're here. We're all here to be part of the ones who push the envelope. So this is it, Chaver. This is we couldn't have asked for. I remember the original thought about the Minatzchim group and the renewal of the VAD was to move the needle, to really move the needle about from the status quo, where we're all shluchim are doing good things. We're all doing good things, and we're all being a Mekarev Yidden, and we're all building Meizus Hashem Sifaras and Chabad and all the statistics, and it's beautiful, etc., etc. But it's all in a certain status quo, and the proof of the fact that here we are, 30 years after the Sicha Nun Beis, and the Matara is still not bemuchash. And we cannot be complacent. We need to be moving the needle. So here we are, Minatzchim, and we are being presented. I mean, with the needle is moving. It's amazing already how much the needle has already moved. But the momentum is here, and we have to sit. We have to go and grab the needle with both hands and schlep it all the way to where it needs to get to. And so I'm saying this because there's a lot more talent than 4 or 5 contributors on a weekly basis. Over here, everybody has to share their ideas, their thoughts and contributions, and obviously eventually when it becomes clear what in what capacity we all have to contribute our manpower. We're all busy, but we knew that when we signed up to be part of this. So that's a little bit of vastutzich. It's good progress. Now let's make sure the progress leads to the matara.
Just as Yehuda Ba'odikra, just to emphasize what you were just talking about now by the kinnis, it is not just the moval as needle. It's not just that the needle has moved. This is a fundamental mindset shift within the kinnis. I don't want to go shlila. I'll talk on the chiyuv. I have a little bit of corporate history knowledge. So I can tell you that this is completely minakotze elakotze. Okay? And maybe lechvoido l'schusa. I should say lechvoido l'schusa. The reason why every year there's always been at least something about Mashiach, it's because Moshe Katlaski. If not for Moshe Katlaski, and Yizachal Toiv and Zazain Gesund stark, the subject would have disappeared many years ago from the Kiddush B'chol. Baruch Hashem, that today they're coming and asking, literally, they're coming and asking, give us some ideas to make it interesting, because unfortunately, whatever the reason is, it's kind of a they call it a self-non-feeding death kind of a thing. Died from attrition. The programs weren't interesting, so nobody showed up. Nobody showed up, so there was no point of making interesting programs. So, give an example. A few years ago, it was, what's his name? Kalman's son. Mendel, I think is his name, wrote the book. He spoke Friday, a few years ago by the Kiddush. I don't remember when it was. Maybe it was the last one was, I think, Rabbi Yael. The one before. Anyway, relatively lately. And he spoke phenomenal. I mean, he brought across how we should see with the Rebbe Zok, the Welt is great. He brought practical examples from all kinds of different venues, how the world is ready. Unfortunately, I don't even know it were 50 people in the room. So when it came to next, he says, look, can you nicht interessiert? So really, notwithstanding all this, they're coming and asking now, let's make it interesting. Why? Because they realize we have to have it. We realize this is what the shlichus is. They realize that, look, chsidim anu bameh. What are we chsidim with? What are we shlichim us? We are shluchim with this. So let's make it happen. So they're coming and asking us, let's give. So therefore, I think it's pashut. It's tzava show. Everybody should take a few minutes, sit down. The Rebbe sagt, na tracht eine halbe Stunde in Kinder von den Kindern. Let's everybody on their own think. What would you suggest if you were given an idea? You were asked, give me a half-hour program in Yad Mashiach for everybody in the Kiddush. What would you suggest? What would you come up with? So if a few heads get together and everybody individually and then put it together, we could come up with interesting programs. Something should be compelling the shliach to want to come and listen. Once you have them in the door, which is uninteresting, but how can you make it? In other words, two things. Side the packaging, which is necessary because unfortunately everything goes today with packaging and the labels and the packaging, and then the teuchel. So if we can sit and push it, put our heads together and come up with something, we have it done. What we don't have to go beg them to do it. Every year we used to beg them to our teufer. Don't forget the M word. Right? Okay, the Getona teufer. But it's reingestellt dort nirgends between the salad and the fish. But now they literally says you're getting it in the front door. You're getting prime time, right? You know, in retail, it's all about the companies fight about shelving. The giving is the best shelves, but we got to put on the proper products. So, however, this is partially the call for each one of them. Think of something. I mean, some ideas have come up. Sandy, we discussed already. It gave some ideas, etc. But it's Adarab. We want to hear from people who did not hear what others say. On your own, what would you present? In addition to the flowers and the fish coming from Midbar Sinai, which was a beautiful idea, but something that takes a little bit more meat, right? Not just the flowers and the fish. I'm saying this because Leib Leston had this beautiful idea that it should be on every table. It should be flowers coming from the midbar, which he says when the midbar will flourish, this is part of the gula. Beautiful idea, but something a little bit more meaty. So no need to repeat myself, but this is a call to action, a call to thinking at least. And share it. Share it on the Minatzchim group or send it to Sandy or whoever, and it'll be fleshed out and sent further to the Badakinis. But the time is now, because this is when they're talking about it. Now they're planning. Now they're putting things together.
Right. So and really, it's a remarkable thing, and as Rebbe mentioned, and I think just so that we can get a little bit more targeted with the question. So instead of just thinking in generalities, I think with the place where the kinos where Shlomo Parstek is in Kamosiu's help is if we said that we're going to, they want to do a month long from Rish Chodesh Cheshvan to Rish Chodesh Kislev, a month long some sort of mitzvah. So again, the idea of a comprehensive study of Nun Dalit, of Nun Beis, of Chaisar Nun Beis should be prepared and studied. Kunta should be prepared and all the Shochem should study. That's one thought. But if anybody has a better idea, what kind of pre-kinos mitzvah should be done, then in that regard, Thursday.
I'm going to interrupt you for a second. I think they already set on something. They want to develop that everybody should learn Pasha the Sichon and Beis Chaisar, and right. They want to make this into a major big curriculum with shiurim, etc. I think this is their focus. Just like the Tut Alts approach of learning the four sichos, the Malchus, I think they want to create a comprehensive learning tool with the whole package about this, and that would be amazing if you think about it. This is just, it's mind-boggling that they're asking for everyone to learn this sikha, which unfortunately in the past weren't allowed to talk about it in the old past, right? Rahman al-Itzlan. And today they want, this is what's going to prepare the shliach to come to the kiddush with what? With the shlichus. So this is amazing.
Right.
So we have to think more about, I'm just suggesting we have to think more about concrete ideas, what package, as you said, the good package, we're going to walk away. Maybe somebody has good ideas, what should be offered to the shluchim as a take-home package, right? But you have to think of it that this should be part of things to come from the Mashiach office on a regular basis. Because Mashiach office wants to create monthly or whatever packages, informationals to the shluchim. So this could be a first of what is going to come, kind of an idea. And also as far as workshops, as far as panel, as far as subjects, as far as the main sessions, this is where I think we should put in our whole thinking. Sorry, Sandy, for the ragag.
All right, so yeah, I see already that people writing into the chat. These are good material. I like the medical Kesselman had the idea that should be included. Right, so Mandy, are you saying that there should be a panel about these questions? How do I start with my community? Or are you saying, or there should be some material already giving answers?
Yeah, meaning I think that there'll be a lot of shluchim that'll say, you know, this sounds great, or I'm ready, I feel ready. Now what's my first step? And then there'll be other shluchim that they've already been doing work with their communities and they need more, a little more advanced materials. Others are doing it for many years, need more advanced. So yeah, maybe a panel that sort of says, okay, how do you start? What do I do? You know, what do you, it's been taboo for so long, so now we're doing it. You know, what's the first step? What should I do? It could be a separate thing just for fundraising. You know, Mashiach is an amazing message. It's so uplifting. It's so hopeful. It's so wonderful. It's so inclusive. I mean, you could use it to fundraise. You know, Adrabah, people are afraid. On the contrary, you could use it to spread hope and to include people and to partner with some people that were on the fringe, maybe that didn't see eye to eye with Chabad, but here this is a message that sort of breaks through boundaries and reaches out to you know. So from all aspects, how Mashiach can be integrated into different parts of whatever the Kinnis usually does, provides resources. So fundraising, how to get started with my community, I'm just thinking.
Yeah, no, I think this is that's exactly the point. I think that's part of creating the paradigm shift. So I think yeah, there's a lot for me. For example, it's not even just about inspiration or hopefulness, et cetera, inclusiveness. Mashiach ends up being the common denominator, and it's our action plan, it's our mission statement. In other words, you present it to people that are business minded, to people that this is what makes this adds the cohesiveness to Yiddishkeit b'chlal and to Shlichus b'frat. When you're asking us one Jew to what do we all hear when we ask somebody to put on tefillin, right? Or whatever is that one mitzvah you do. Rabbi, this is not my thing. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go from here and have my bacon sandwiches. It's like, you know, is this really important? The answer is, or Mashiach gives you an answer to all of this. Every mitzvah, everything. This is the common denominator. This is the journey that this whole thing's about. We're all heading. A mitzvah is not just to make you feel spiritual in a moment, and we all know kind of, you know, that we have that moment, and then go back to our lives. So it's like, did that really count? Did that really mean anything? As what I'm doing meaningful? You to turn and say you can really reframe your entire shlichus in a way that makes it so much more comprehensive, so much more compelling, so much more real, so much more practical, so much more destination oriented. You're telling people we're heading somewhere. This has a goal, this has a direction, and you're part of it, even with that one little mitzvah. If that's all you're going to do, you can look at yourself and you can bank, that's a bankable mitzvah. It's not only banked in your account, it's banked in the whole world's account. This is a compelling message. And the fact is that we're shying away from something, an incredible tool in our shlichus. Not just the fact that it's the right, it's the truth, it's correct. It's an incredible tool, and so this, I think, if this becomes a theme, this becomes a conversation at the kinnis. It can alter the trajectory of many people's shlichus.
As you said, the idea is to bring it to the consciousness of every shliach, and not that we don't have it. We're all conscious about it, but somehow we really not do, right? As it says, the fact that it's taken so long, it becomes like deja vu, and it's a little tiresome. How many times can I repeat the same thing? Sebastian Ishvarim Poretz, and so on and so forth, right? So time, unfortunately, does its thing, creates a certain complacency. If we can recreate, and through the kindness, this could be done. An excitement, an enthusiasm, an awareness. It's fresh. I've said it in the past that the Gerer Rebbe, one of the Gerer Rebbes, I don't remember who it was. Maybe it was a Pinchas Menachem. And this time, he said, "The Rebbe hat nicht beschaffen kein Mashiach. The Rebbe didn't create Mashiach. An alte Yiddische gesagt. This is an older Munde. The Rebbe hat him rausgenommen from freezer. He took him out of the freezer. He said, this must forget. Right? He took him out of the freezer. We'd be saying, "Animan min sind v'oros hoyse toyu voyu." So if we can take from us, from our freezer, take out Mashiach and bring it in the forefront of the burner, I mean, I'll give you an example. There's so much amazing ideas out there. I don't know if you read it, I think it was an Anash, with Argentina, what they're doing now. I don't know if you saw it. It's amazing. They created a drive-through because of COVID. So you can't go out of the car, you can't visit. So it created a drive-through Beis Hamikdash experience. You're driving with your car, you're driving through Shar Nicanor, and you're stopping by the Mizbeach, and you're stopping by the Kreisel, and you have all kinds of shows. I mean, it's amazing. Not everybody can do this. It's a fortune, and not everybody has an inside hall that you can have cars driving in, etc. But here's just an idea which is quite great, amazing, right? But there's a lot of ideas out there that we could apply. It's just a matter of getting all of us thinking about it. And if we will get the shluchim, if the kinders will get the shluchim to put on their creative hats on, it's going to be amazing what will happen in the world. If all the shluchim just start using their creating talent, no less than when it comes to fundraising, or how to teach Aleph based to a little child, I mean, the whole world will be going. I just saw somebody said that this project in Argentina revolutionized Buenos Aires. Everybody in Buenos Aires talks now about the Beis Hamikdash. As an example. Yeah? So this is what we need to do. So we right now have to find the proper gimmick, if you want to call it this way, the good hook, something to get the shliach excited to come in and want to share. And as he said, maybe I think there could be maybe two levels. How do I start? I haven't done much about Mitzvah Mashiach. Where do I start? And then you can have, how do I continue? For the one who's been doing it for so many years and is running out of steam. How do I continue? Right? So this could be two, and these are two levels of discussions. Right? So this could be a workshop, whatever you want to call it. Anyway.
Good. So the conversation, I'm going to jump off. The conversation continues on the WhatsApp.
Mm-hmm.
And
but
let's
try to put something cohesive together, not just a shtickle idea. Put it, flesh it out, a structure, a program from A to Z. What this program should be. If you can do that, that would be amazing.
Yeah, and for all of us in the United States, that's A to Z.
Thank you.
Anyways, all right. I don't know. I guess Mendy is currently not on. Mendy Rubenfeld is not on. Anybody else has something to say? Otherwise, we'll sign off and start working on bringing Mashiach.
What we're doing now is about working about the Gula.
Correct.
Even for ourselves. Even for ourselves. I've repeated it so many times. I heard it from Naftali Roth. Hamanti ki adaber. Hamanti. I myself, I started believing it ki adaber because I repeated it and I repeated it. Hamanti. I convinced myself because ki adaber. So the more we talk about it, it's helpful for ourselves.
Without question. Without question. All right, everybody. Shekach.